Hi guys, how are you? Today we have lesson 9 from chapter 11, find the whole. In this lesson we learn how we find the whole, okay? To find the whole we have two ways. The first way is using a fraction, or the second way using a decimal, okay? That means we want to write a percent as a fraction, and the second way we want to write a percent as a decimal. Now let us start. Before we start, I want you to remember something like reciprocal. Reciprocal, it's the flipped number, okay? That's mean if we have 2 out of 5, reciprocal of it, it will be 5 out of 2. If we have whole number 3, reciprocal, it's 1 out of 3. Why? Because any whole number, it's out of 1. And if we have 1 out of 5, the reciprocal is 5 out of 1. And in the previous lesson we learned the percent equal the part out of the whole. If we want the percent out of 1 and we make cross multiply, then the percent times the whole give me what? The part. Look guys, in this case the percent multiply the whole equal the part. To make the whole alone, what we do, we divide the percent to the both side. Like now, for example, if I have equation 3 out of 5 times, for example, whole as a variable m equal 12. Now, the first thing we said, what the reciprocal of 3 out of 5? It's 5 out of 3. To make the variable m and a side alone without any number, then we multiply the both side by 5 out of 3. 3 out of 5 times m multiply 5 out of 3 equal 12 multiply 5 out of 3. We must multiply the both sides by the same number to keep the equation balanced, okay? Now any fraction multiplied by the reciprocal of the fraction, it will be 1. Then m equal 12 times 5 is 60 out of 3. m equal 20. Then here m is 20, okay? Now to use, if we have a percent, for example 20% of E equal $80, okay? Now if you want to use the fraction, to solve it. Now what mean use fraction? That means we want to write the percent as a fraction. Now 20%, we learned how we convert the percent to fraction. It's 20 out of 100 of, that's mean in the math multiply E equal 80. Now we can simplify the 20 with 100. Yes, divide by 20 is 1. We divide by 20 is 5. Then it's 1 out of 5 times E equal 80. Now what we do, here we have a fraction with a variable. To remove the fraction, we multiply the both sides by the reciprocal of fraction. 1 out of 5 E times 5 out of 1 equal 80 times 5 out of 1, okay? 1 out of 5 multiply 5 out of 1 is 1. Then E equal 80 multiply 5 is 400. 400 out of 1 is 400. Now if we want to use a decimal, use a decimal to solve. Then we want to write 0 or 20% as a decimal of E is 80, okay? As that's mean equal of, that's mean multiply. Now we want to write the percent as a decimal. The 20% as a decimal, it's 0.20 of multiply E equal 80. When we talk about the equation, when we have multiply with a variable, what's the opposite of multiply? Divide. Then we divide the both side by 0.20, divide by 0.20. Now we cross them. Then E equal, here in the divisor we have a decimal. How many digits after decimal? We have 2 digits. To remove a decimal, we multiply it by 100, okay? Then 80 multiply 100 out of 0.20 multiply by 100 equal 8,000 out of 20. Simplified 0 with 0. 800 divide to 400. Then we get the same answer. Here we named the E whole number, okay, it's equal 400. Now let us to solve some exercises from your book. Use a fraction to solve. That means we want to solve. Then we want to write the percent as a fraction. Let us to solve question number 1. 25% of y is 100. 25% of y is 100. Again, guys, now we want to write the 25 as a fraction of that mean multiply will as equal. Y represent what? The whole number, okay? Then we said 25 out of 100 multiply y equal 100. Now, before we start, we simplified the fraction divided by 25 divided by 25. It's equal 1 out of 4 y equal 100. Now, we have with the variable fraction. Okay, to remove the fraction, we multiply it by the reciprocal of the fraction. Then the reciprocal of 1 out of 4 is 4 out of 1. Then we multiply 1 out of 4y times 4 out of 1 equal 100 times 4 out of 1. 1 out of 4 multiply 4 out of 1 is 1. Then y equal 100 multiply 4, 400 divided by 1 is 400. Okay, now let us to solve question number 2. 50% of b is 250. Look, guys, here we want to write the percent as a fraction. 50 out of 100 of that mean multiply b equal 250. Before we start, we simplified the fraction. Divided by 50 divided by 50 is half times b equal 250. What the reciprocal of 1 out of 2? 2 out of 1, that means 2. 1 out of 2, b times 2 equal 250 times 2. 1 out of 2 multiplied 2 is 1. And then b equal 500. The whole number then 500. Now, let us to go to the second question. Use a decimal to solve. We want to solve question 4 and 5. What's mean use a decimal to solve? That means we want to write the percent as a decimal, okay? 45% of A is 45. 45% of A is 45. He asked me to use a decimal. Then we want to write the percent here as a decimal. It's equal 0.45 of multiply A is equal 45. Now, in this case of the equation, what we said, we divide the both side by the number with a variable, because the opposite of multiply, divide. Then we divide the both side by 0.45 divided by 0.45. 0.45 divided by 0.45 is 1. Then A equal, now we have with the divisor decimal. How many digits after decimal? 2 digits. Then we multiply it by 100. 45 times 100 out of 0.45 times 100. Then A equal 4,500 out of 45. A equal 45 divided 45 is 1. We have 2 zeros, we add them. Then the whole number is 100. Question 5. 12% of Z is 120. Now here we want to write 12% as a decimal. 0.12 of That means multiply z is equal 120. Now what we do, we divide the both side by 0.12 divided by 0.12 hundredths, then z equal, now to cancel a decimal we multiply the both side by 100 times 100, then it's equal 12,000 out of 12. Z equal 12 divided by 12 is 1. We have 3 zeros, we add them here, then the answer is 1,000. Then here the whole number is 1,000. Look guys, now in the other page we have find the whole. Okay, here you have the choice to use the fraction or the decimal. You can use it any way to solve. You will get the same answer. If you use the fraction or decimal, at the end you will get the same answer. Okay guys, if you have any question, mister, write it to ask me tomorrow. Goodbye.